Mushoku Tensei author in a bit of heat. Couple days ago, he made a statement. When it comes to enjoying a work, it's better not to know anything about the author. Ooh, ominous, vague. Well, this statement also comes right after what? The manga one, the Shogakukan, drama, where what happened? There were incidents of people working there, abusing children, editors trying to cover it up. There was the Act Age, drama shit too, where that author went by a different pen name. All of the, criminal shit has been settled, I guess, and now he's under a different pen name, but they went out and said, yeah, we're working with them right now too. And it's not looking very good for manga one, and people are saying, hell nah, fucking get rid of everybody. And then Mushoku Tensei author, Rifujin, comes in and makes a statement like this. And you know what? Objectively, is he wrong about this? No. It's not like a full detailed statement, but it's saying when you're trying to enjoy someone's work, probably better to, never meet your heroes, but also at the same time, right? Separate the art from the artist. A lot of people hate Kanye West due to his crash outs and insane things he does. I think his music is still amazing, right? So it's a tricky situation where it's just like, if you do just want to enjoy, fiction, media work or whatever, art, maybe you shouldn't delve into, what that person is actually up to. I do agree with that. But at the same time, what kind of image does this paint? Because it's not just like a random person saying this. It's specifically Mushoku Tensei's author saying this. And what's the issue with that? Well, a lot of people immediately will call you a pedophile if you enjoy Mushoku Tensei. Why is that? The nature of the main character being a bit of a diddler, in the past life and the current life getting away with the lustful degeneracies, the controversial act of what happened in season 1 with Eris and Rudy, and so much more, right? A lot of people can't get over that. They can't separate fiction from reality and will condemn you as a pedophile if you enjoy that show. And of course, with Rifujin coming up with a statement like that, they're going to be signal boosting and say, yup, the jokes write themselves. That author indeed is a diddler. There's a lot of different responses and updates that came from this, but let's look at some of the threads. Mushoku Tensei haters they got the memes, they got the ammo ready to go. They got that shit ready to go. Let's read some of the other responses. It's convenient for you, it's a plus, and if it's inconvenient, it's important to be able to ignore it. There are some authors who are satisfied with the afterword, you can't know that in advance. The afterword itself adds to their work, and it can sometimes make me more enjoyable, so I think it's a shame not to read it. I know that information about the creators can be a hindrance or even a danger when enjoying creative works, but I can't help but want to know. Yeah, I mean, you want to know if and there's another part too, beyond like enjoying the content, it's also like the fact that you are actively supporting a person. So if there truly is, right? Sorry, the music's really loud right now. If there truly is like a really terrible person that makes art and you support that person financially, aren't you kind of enabling that person? A lot of people have that argument as well. Sort by the likes here. I'm sure it's going to be tame. Bro. Anyone else? Check that guy's hard drive. Oh no. And people just kind of just slandering him and stuff like that. And if you look at the quotes here, probably not going to be good, right? Probably not gonna be good at all. If this post, and this is Rifujin, quote retweeting himself. If this post is being interpreted as me defending the perpetrators of the crime of the publisher, again the manga one situation, let me deny that. I believe that the crime is extremely tragic and should never be forgiven. There it is. I mean, he probably should have mentioned that in the initial statement, considering the type of person like people think that he is. But again, he does not support it. He does not, condone it. He actively, is against it, and that's it. This is just trying to exonerate sexual assault perpetrators. They can change their names and continue publishing their work, and the victims might even pay them. Are you kidding me? Can't I just not pay sexual assault perpetrators? Sexual assault perpetrators should have their faces named published. And again, Rifujin is not saying that he condones this behavior. He's saying if you want to enjoy a work, you probably just should not bother lifting the curtain to see what's going on behind the scenes. It can generally be good to separate the art from the artist, but I don't think it's an absolute thing either. Death to the author is often used to excuse negative behavior, but I think learning more about the creator can enhance your appreciation of their work too. It's true that I've lost followers many times. I've shared information about myself. Who are you? He's an illustrator? Okay. People think I'm a woman because of the image of my illustrations. When they found I'm a man, they're disappointed. That's kind of funny. This has nothing to do with like the, you know, the sexual crimes, but more of like, yo, a bunch of people thought I was a cute girl, but they noticed that I'm a man, so it's like, bro, I lost followers. This is some VTuber shit where it's like, hey, I'm a cute VTuber. Oh, the rig, you know, got out of control and it's like an unk instead. Ah, shit, leaked. This only applies if the author hates certain food or doesn't like pets, not when a crime has been committed and covered up. But maybe I don't want to give my support and money to, and you guys are all valid for that. Absolutely, you guys are valid for that, right? But again, this is like extending beyond Refugeen's initial statement, talking about what? Again, if you just want to enjoy the work and not talking about financially enabling that person who may have traumatized you. And again, this is him responding back to that statement saying, listen, come on, like I don't agree with that shit at all. At the same time, I believe that I must exercise strong self-control to avoid committing any crimes, even minor. I know this is just Google Translate right now, but like, he's not joking right now, right? Yeah, minor ones too. Yeah, definitely not the minor ones. Careful not with the minor ones. I have no criminal record, but I have low self-esteem, and I tend to think that the more people to get to know me, the more they will dislike me. It was an expression of those feelings that led me to make these remarks. I'm sure that some people were offended or misunderstood. I'm truly sorry. And that's pretty much it. I'm sure Refugeen has his own, you know, flaws as a person. No human being is perfect, and to constantly judge people off of this infinite purity test is ridiculous. Everyone has, you know, their own flaws and problems, and I'm sure they don't want to air out their dirty laundry, and you know, they're basically just kind of scared of what the public perception would be. So it's perfectly valid, right? If I understand correctly, I think you're you're the author of Mushoku Tensei. Whether you aren't, please take heart. Don't, again, just kind of supporting that, right? I think a lot of people definitely just kind of immediately drag his name though, because again, they hate Mushoku Tensei for what it is. Most people who were not reading in bad faith understood it was just unfortunate timing. It was very unfortunate timing. The timing was ridiculous. All that event shows up and then you make the statement. It feels like he was acknowledging that event, but maybe it truly was just like a one-off, you know, just tweet that he wanted to make about just separating the art from the artist. No, that's not what I meant when I commented. I don't want to know about the whatever. Sure. I thought you were talking about Mota. I don't know what this other drama is. There's some other stuff here too. If you look at the quotes here, I wonder if a lot of people will say like he's backtracking. Like, oh my god, what's going on here? For the illiterates out there, again, Mushoku Tensei enjoys defending their author. Refugeen wears a helmet in interviews and social media posts because he values his privacy so much. Also says that people shouldn't meet the authors they idolize. The simple and obvious explanation is that he's talking about himself, not writing defense for someone else. Yeah, I think so too. The author, and even this isn't, I wouldn't say like this is even running defense, right? His statement being applied to the manga one stuff also I think is valid, because again, it's just about if you want to enjoy that person's art, best not to know it. He's not talking about anything beyond that. The author has already came out and come to clarify what was practically terrible timing. He makes an excellent point about never meeting your idols, because you'll often be disappointed, and sometimes it's always better to enjoy yourself, but he said it at a bad time. Just terrible fucking timing, bro. It's so ridiculous, the timing that he did. It's not surprising to see people on this side making their own assumptions with their low reading ability. And more people like that. There's some interesting statements from him as well. Where is this? What is this? As for that incident, I had decided not to touch on it at least the stage of the last week, but even so, I can only say it was careless of me not to be aware that post in question might be seen as a defense of the incident. I guess he truly was just unaware, and it was just like a fucking blunder. I thought that he was kind of like making a little remark about that. It's not entirely your fault. There are many people who are just waiting for something, no matter how small, to criticize you. I was being an idiot yesterday too, and I fell into that cycle, blah, blah, blah. If the misunderstanding has been clear, that's great. It's obvious to everyone there's no way anyone would defend a criminal, but it seems like some people feel like attacking someone if they don't get the opinion they want. Well, yeah, that's Twitter, right? That's social media in a nutshell, and everyone basically wants their own opinions validated. You say, I like waffles, and some people will say, why do you hate pancakes? One of the themes that it works is that even a loser can be happy if he reflects on his actions and makes an effort, but some people take this to mean that the criminals are happy without receiving any serious punishment. So it's not surprising that people think that I, the author of Mushoku Tensei, am lenient towards criminals. I think he's a very self-aware person. I think he is very, you know, smart and is aware of how he has presented himself, and he's kind of just made, you know, many, statements saying, listen, I'm not like that. Saw a Japanese comment mention that they hadn't seen much discourse around the comments besides overseas reactions. Well, yeah, because I feel like a lot of the hate for Mushoku Tensei is specifically regarding, you know, the PDF nature, the fictional PDF nature, is specifically from international audience, right? I don't think in Japan they really go in and argue and kind of debate about that topic. I think that, again, the culture there is totally different, and they're able to just kind of differentiate fiction from reality and move on. But over here on international world, right, North America and the different identities identity culture and woke politics definitely reinforces that, you know, like argumentation. Makes you wonder if this comment was just a big deal over there. Regardless, this is just people not reading the striking for the most time on Twitter. People bully him over a normal statement until he's forced to post an apology for something so obvious. These people really are the worst. I mean, that's social media at the end of the day. There's also, you know, I'm not going to victim blame, but at the same time, it's right. It's right. People are nasty online, so you should do everything you can to make sure you give enough context that these bad faith actors aren't just going to take whatever you said and try to exaggerate it and paint you in the worst way possible. And that's pretty much it. I think that he's right. I think at the end of the day, you really have to be able to differentiate fiction from reality. And I made a tweet about this too. Of course I did. I think I said something like this. Where is this one? Where is it? Where is it? Not that, not that, not that, not that. Where is it? Okay, this is a crazy meme. This is a crazy meme. I think it was earlier about. And I think I said something along the lines like, just waiting on Made in Abyss's author statement now. Yeah, the anime updates post, right? This Twitter account I think made a post, you know, kind of framing Refugee in a bad light, and therefore they deleted it after all the backlash. But what do you think the Made in Abyss author is thinking about? Basically, any author that delves with lollies and stuff like that, right? Wonder what's really happening. Again, at the end of the day, don't meet your heroes. Don't idolize them. You don't know what they're about. Just, if you want to enjoy the work, separate the art from the artist. But beyond that too, there's absolutely valid claims being made of like, well shit, if they're under a different pen name and, you know, I don't want to support a fucking diddler, bro, what the hell? Come on. And absolutely, I agree with you that too, right? That what they've done at Manga 1 and Shokugan is fucking nasty that they're covering up. Regarding specifically about the act age person, it's a bit tricky because I've been thinking about that too and about how he has served his time and the punishment that was deemed necessary and now he's moving on. He's lost his previous work and he's lost, you know, his, you know, a cloud in motion with all that, and he had to start fresh and he's starting new things. So should a person like that, again, I ask you, should they get second chances? Because I think a lot of people immediately say, nah, they should just die, right? Anytime you engage in this kind of shit, it needs to be like an absolute thing. But I also hear people saying, like, this person has already proportionally suffered the losses from all the heinous shit that he's done. Whether or not you agree with, like, the punishment is a different topic of, like, should the Japanese court system have harsher punishment? But if a person has gone through all that punishment and wanted to start anew, is that a bad thing? Again, it's a tricky situation and not everything has, like, a clear-cut answer.